Hey, Ursula here. So it's the start of another week. It's a Tuesday. Yeah, my weeks don't start on Mondays like many people's. Mine start on other days. I'm back from a trip far away, and the garden has kind of exploded while I was gone. And so my goal this week is to get this bed taken care of. Now, I had a barberry in here, and I dug it up and planted flowers here. I'm very happy with that. But the extra, I won't even call it dirt. That thing is almost like concrete. There's a mixture of clay and rocks that was in there. It isn't soil. And so this needs to get cleaned up and pulled out of here. At least my coreopsis came back. But the rest of this needs to get weeded. That's my goal this week, one bed at a time. And looks like I have a helper up here. Maybe she'll help me out. What do you think? You think she'll help me? So we're going to try and get this bed cleared up. And I'll show you what I'm going to put into it. My goodness. There are a lot of flowers that didn't find a home. I have everything from sunflowers to straw flowers. I think somewhere in here, in this mess, this is the one I want to get planted. This is theoretically a Bells of Ireland. It has green flowers. And then I have Scabiosa, which is a continuation of the flowers from the bed next to it. So it'll have some continuity. And then I have some carnations. And I think I have more straw flowers in here. And looks like a Mexican sunflower. And maybe, just maybe, leftover snapdragon didn't get in. So we're going to try and get the overflow flowers planted and see if we can't give them a home this week. The temperature has been pretty cold at night. It's been going down to 40 degrees. And this next week it's going to shift so that the nighttime temperatures are going down to only 60 degrees. So everything should take off. The problem is there may or may not be rain. So we're going to have to watch this like a hawk and make sure that it gets plenty of mulch. And I did pick up more mulch. I'm going to use a coconut core. I got to soak this. That's what I use this garbage can for, is I put the coconut core in it. It's a big giant block. I add water and it breaks up and it becomes a beautiful mulch. Oh, look. And there is the barberry that I have yet to put into the burn barrel that I took out of the hole next to it. So that's what caused me to dig up that whole bed. I really don't like the thorns. I am so tired of pulling thorns out of my fingers, even through gloves. So that's what we're working on this week. We'll see how far it goes. Well, this is going to take a little bit of time. I've taken 2 5-gallon buckets out already. I'll need to take out at least a third. Plus I have a planter full of dirt. That is clay in that pot mostly, not the rocks and the really horrible proto dirt that was in here. I got quite a few of the bindweed out. I still have more bindweed. There's bindweed everywhere to get out of here. And the borage is going to go. The dill is going to go. Dill grows wild around here. I leave it because it deters the deer. If I don't want deer in an area, I just cake on the dill. Throw some dill seed in and let it go. So that was a thing. What I did discover is there's a lot of nice soil, and it is soil, underneath the sage, so I can put some flowers, you know, shorter ones maybe, in here. I still want to put more of these, they're called cherry black-eyed Susans. I want to stretch that down. I think I only have one more plant, and then the Scabiosa in the back, and take that down. The borage will come out. I've got more borage up on top, and I shouldn't talk with my hands while I'm holding a camera. And then we can put more of the carnations in the front here. I'll leave the Coreopsis where it is. Normally I'd like something that tall further back, but it's too late in the season to move it and actually have it survive. So next spring it can get moved if I get around to it. And then that bush has got to get trimmed. But yeah, I'm uncovering a lot of space up top here in addition to making space down here. So the job just grew into a multi-bed project instead of just one bed. And yeah, everything escalates. So there you have it. That's it for right now. I'm going to take some pictures of where I dumped the first bucket of dirt, only because I need to determine whether the skunk is still in the hole. I did not bury it in, but I put the dirt pretty close to on top of the hole so that if the skunk is in there, I'll know and it'll come out and I'll see the earth has moved. So let's take a look at that. Okay, this area is tricky to get into. It is giant pine tree here. And that's great because the blueberries enjoy the needles that fall down from that. The blueberries do need a good weeding. That'll be another day. This started growing again. This is a yew bush. That is a hosta that I unceremoniously removed, and it took up residence here. Not intentionally, just I threw it here and didn't bother to move it. All right. Back in there is where the hole is. All right, you can see I have a ladder there. I was going to remove all the dirt from the flower box for the guys to paint the house, so they would paint inside the flower box. So this is where I dumped the dirt. This vine has to go. And I'll take a picture of this and compare it in a couple days, but I can fill this in and then pack it down if there's nobody living in here. And then I think what I'm going to do is put chicken wire down flat and prevent anybody else from digging in here in the future. That's a thought anyway. Well, another week has gone by. It's Friday. And I got a few plants in before the sky opened up. So I've got some straw flowers up here. This is the really horrible dirt I removed out of the bed. Okay. These are previously planted. And these are my new guys. Like I said, I think the one in the center here is a Bells of Ireland. These are more pink carnations. And in the back I've got two Scabiosa. I know it's not a whole lot. I got some straw flowers in along the top here. And at least this soil up here is decent. I pulled a bunch of oregano out, and I pulled out a lot of bindweed, and I found a couple of the barberry roots still in there, so I yanked those out. That's got to get trimmed next, and you have to see the weld, because dang, just dang. So that's got to get tamed. and a dye bath has to get started. There's so much to do. It isn't funny. But I, do one bed at a time. That's where we're at. Anyway, take care, everybody. Skunk situation is inconclusive. The meter man came through and read the meter back there, so I can't tell whether or not the skunk came out of its hole. So we're just gonna have to wait and see.